Yeah, it wasn't me. I was having problems with my videos where I couldn't flip the camera around, and it just wasn't an option. And it looks like Facebook must have fixed it on the lives. But I titled this video "Lobbying for Your Health" because it was back in the middle of the '80s. I had put on some weight, and my mom turned me onto a book, and it was actually this book right here, "Fit for Life" by doctors Harvey and Marilyn Diamond. And they're the ones that went out into the jungles to see why the only fat animals that weren't designed by nature that way were the ones that came in contact with human beings. But in this book, he starts to break down all the things that happened in the 1980s with all the lobbying for the different, if you remember this, it all happened kind of at once. There was a glut across the board in America of too much food available. So they started running different lobbyings. If you remember Milk, It Does a Body Good. And Harvey Diamond in his book, as well as Dr. V, say that one of the worst things you can put into your body as a human being is dairy. Dairy is made for baby cows. Adult cows don't even drink dairy. And it's what takes a baby calf to a 2,000-pound heifer in 1 year. It's dairy. It's not meant for human consumption. And we try to fat-free this and lower fat that. And anytime you start hydrogenating and getting into the polys or the trans and all those things, that's all unhealthy things that they're doing to your food to make it appear healthier. But it was kind of neat, though. He went through that milk, it does a body good. And just like Dr. V, actually milk will do more for osteoporosis than, causing osteoporosis than helping it. And then there was also meat. It's what's for dinner. And I remember, the promos because they just had so much in surplus that they've had to figure it. And it was all lobbying through Washington. And what was the other one? Pork, the other white meat. And I thought that was kind of interesting because it really was not the best option for you, especially now and today in our society with the superbugs and everything. Our meat supplies are so pumped up with, our food supplies really are so pumped up with antibiotics and steroids and those kind of things. That's why we hear the term superbug. And you hear it a lot because people go into the hospital with an infection that can't be treated with regular penicillins and regular treatments because there's so much of that already in our systems through our food sources that, though the standard penicillin doesn't stand up to a variant super strain. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But when it comes to dairy, one of the things that I learned, or that I do myself, and they're not always even the best options, but all your nut milks, like your almond milk, and I know there's a small percentage of it that's only real almond. But you can use water in your smoothies, and those type of things. But I try to mix it up with cashew milk, almond milk. I love milkadamia. It's a macadamia nut, and like an 8-ounce glass is only 25 calories. And it's just it's a much healthier approach to dairy. Like even your low fat or fat free mozzarella strings and all those things, they're really about, and the reason it feels like plastic is because it's not far from being plastic. When junk food made less junkier is still junk food. And I always like that saying, and it's a moniker that I always turn to. But you need to think about that as your food choices. Like, what are you actually putting in your body? The chickens. Hello, Nanette. How are you? I was just talking to Skeeter last night. So your food choices really have to improve as far as what you're putting in your body and the way you put it in there. And I do like, I think Dr. V's diet actually mimicked what Harvey and Marilyn Diamond discovered, is that there's 3 cycles, the circadian rhythm from 4 o'clock in the morning till noon. Your body's trying to clean itself out. And it takes energy to do that. And when you have a bagel and coffee, your body has to stop cleaning itself out and now deal with that. It takes nothing for your body to digest fresh fruit, and it takes the energy and still can keep on cleaning or working through the elimination process. And dairy's never really a good part of that formula. I noticed how much I felt better when I, just got rid of all dairy, the string cheeses, even your yogurts and your probiotics. Look at it, look at the labels that you're putting in there, all the polys and this and that, and it's just not good for you. And your body will, your body kind of, it works against your body and your health. So that's really what I wanted to do, is just bring the awareness that I remembered learning back in the 80s through that book, is that there's a lobbying on for our healths. Look at the commercialization of cereals. I'm actually thinking about doing a video called Cereal Killers. When you look at the list of ingredients that are on, our children's cereals and even adult cereals, real food does not have ingredients. Real food or whole foods are an ingredient. And when you really get into that whole food or raw food eating mentality, you will really see improved results with your health, especially with chronic illness, those kind of things. You got to let your body get itself clean and ingest as much raw fruits and vegetables, lightly steamed salads, but you should try to make it about, most people say 50%. I'm saying about 80%. If you can get to yourself where you're 50%, raw vegetables, fresh fruits, and then the rest, just trying to do your fishes, and stay away from the bottom feeding fish, like your catfish, even shrimp and your tilapia and swai. All of those are really like, just if you saw the way they were farmed, they're not wild caught. They're raised in these tanks, and they basically feed on their own feces, and it's just really a not healthy choice. So you got to think about your health. People are lobbying for your health. They're lobbying for your dollars, and you're the only one that's going to be able to take control of that. So you can always go on YouTube and look up the Dr. V Diet Challenge on YouTube. It's a free video. He was a #1 bariatric surgeon in the United States, or, at least in the Southwest United States. Authored 13 books and still more coming. And his social media hashtag was Avoid the Knife. He was a surgeon that knew that there was so much misinformation in the bariatric surgery industry that he just found a need and filled it. And his hashtag was Avoid the Knife. You do not need weight loss surgery in a lot of cases. And there are some cases where it really works well. So his name is Duc, D-U-C, Vuong, V-U-O-N-G. And you'll look him up on YouTube, and he's got all kinds of videos that are, really commonsensical. He's a surgeon. He was doing liver transplants and, all kinds of things before he realized that, there was some serious money. You can only do one liver transplant in a day, where you could do maybe 3 to 5 bariatric surgeries. And he never had anybody go back to the operating table. Did he have some complications? Very few, but they were all dealable, not going back into the surgery room. So just some food for thought there. I really like this. This is kind of the moniker for that your body works on. From 4 in the morning till 12 in the afternoon, I'm doing this backwards now, is when your body's trying to clean itself out. And that's when you really just want to have a healthy green smoothie or just snack on vegetables, nothing starchy like bananas, but your fresh fruit, your pears, your apples, your grapes, your berries, your pitted fruits, and those kind of things. Then he says from 12 till 8 o'clock at night is when you're supposed to eat, and that your body is representative of this symbol, that when you sit down to a plate of food, it should be 70% high water content foods and 30% of like just a solid one piece of chicken. Don't do, steak and potato or chicken and you can have a steak and potato throughout the day, but you have the potato by itself. And what you do is you end up simplifying the digestion process. So you can actually get 3 meals from that 12 to 8. If you eat every 3 hours, you eat at 12, then you eat at 3, and then maybe at 7 o'clock at night. And then at 8 o'clock at night, your body's on, let me do this. I'm sorry, I'm doing it backwards. Your body's on autopilot. That's when your body is just taking all the nutrients of the day, processing it, absorbing it through your intestines into your body, only to recycle and get it out of your body. That's why you wake up, you got to go to the bathroom, you got dog breath, the things in your eyes. If you let your body clean itself out, that's what hangovers are, if you really think about it. We've all woke up hammered. And what was the secret? Hair of the dog. And what happened was you would get those intense headaches because your body was detoxing. And what did they tell you to do? Have something to eat. Why? Because as soon as you eat real food, your body has to stop detoxing and start dealing with the food. And that's why you felt better. Or another drink, you put that toxin stuff back in your body. Now your body's got to stop cleaning itself out and deal with the alcohol. So they're really common sense things that I've learned through the years. And when I put in practice, I was very successful before I ate myself up to 366 pounds. But the other thing that I really love about this guy is he came out with a second book. And he didn't realize it, but he really feels and kind of proves that in his Fit for Life, A New Beginning. He tripped on to the lymph node system and just how vast the lymph node system is. And that with breast cancers, and I know it's a sensitive subject, but all they can say is early detection, early detection, early detection. If you look up breast cancer prevention, all they can say is very generic terms, a healthy diet and exercise, but they can't dial in on that. Harvey Diamond does in this book. He basically tells the women, like, your lobes are a series of lymph nodes, and they're designed to store and hold dirt. And when your body cleans itself out, they deposit that and let it out. But what happens is we don't let our bodies get clean, and those cells metastasize in the breast, and then they go in and cut it out. Well, you've only dealt with that one area and not the process that's making all of the dirty deposits. So I know it's a sensitive subject, but it's really an excellent book. I highly recommend if you know anybody that's going through the lymph node process or breast cancer. It is well worth just buying a copy used on Amazon and just hear the guy out. Listen to his common sense approach. They are, I believe they're doctors, co-author. Yeah. And a lot of doctors like Dr. Wayne Dwyer and a lot of the testimonials in the book are from doctors, and it's actually an interesting read. So that's really what I wanted to do, is let people know that, our health, your children's health, everything's being lobbied for. Hey, Julie, how are you, doll? But that's all I wanted to say is just watch what you're putting into your body and do your homework. Read the labels. If you're putting polys and monos and hydrogenated and all those things into your body, that's all processed junk, and you can really take back hold of your health. So as always, I appreciate your time. If you found any value in this video, please hit like and share. Go to my YouTube page. If you have a YouTube page and you like and subscribe on my YouTube page, let me know. I'll return the favor. It's nothing but it's nothing but click a like and subscribe, and it gives you more views, the more viewers that you get. So I appreciate your time. I hope you found it valuable. I know it's a little controversial to say, but read it for yourself. It makes a lot of sense, and it matches up perfectly with what all the real, that's why Weight Watchers does free points for fresh fruit and vegetables. Isn't that a coincidence that, they're actually not charging you points for your diet for the day? Great program. I lost 100 pounds with Weight Watchers at one point. Then I stopped doing it. And they all work until you stop doing them. So thanks again. I appreciate your time. I hope you've found some value in this. Did not mean to upset anybody, but it's really, it's worth your time to just invest in yourself and just pick up these books and give it a read for yourself. Okay, thanks for your time. I love you. God bless. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.